Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video what I'm going to be doing is trying to do there's someone looking at me. Hi. So in today's video what I'm going to be doing is a full behind the scenes on a product shoot. So I've got a product and I'm setting it all up now. We're going to be using natural window light and we just have a speed light, just a cheap little speed light if we do need to kind of like fill in the shadows or have any additional lighting. In the last video I used some continuous lighting, so hopefully this will be a good way of showing you how you can use some other kind of lighting techniques. But I'm not going to talk for too much longer because we are running out of light. You know, it's winter, we aren't blessed with a ton of light all the time, but I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to try and keep it as full as possible, as uncut as possible, so you guys can see my thought process throughout the whole thing. Okay, so I will be shooting on the Sony a7 III with the Sigma 35mm 1.4, and it's actually for Canon, this lens, but I've got an MC11 adapter. This jade roller is going to be our hero product, so if you guys don't already know what a hero product is, I will link my last video where I kind of went through and explained all of that. But essentially this is going to be the product that we're going to be focusing on. As you can kind of see, I've got a ton of props laid out. I've got bowls, some little beads from the last video that I did. I've actually got a jade stone here. I've got some hemp powder. I don't know if I'm going to end up using that, but we'll see. Some cork like we used in the last video. But first of all, I'm going to clear the table and we're going to set up our backdrop. So these vinyl backdrops I have spoken about before. They're really great because you can kind of put food on them, you can get them wet, all that sort of stuff, and they just dry off really easily. So I'm going to be using one or a couple of these today. Okay, so as you can hopefully see, I've gone for a more like green, kind of like emeraldy patterned backdrop. Obviously that matches the product quite well, it being made of gemstone and it being green. So the other props that I've got are also kind of green, kind of similar theme to the backdrop, to the product. You can see that this green does not match this green, but it does go really nicely. So I'm just going to start by taking a really simple shot, testing the light, seeing where the light is kind of hitting the product and seeing what I can kind of do with that kind of lighting. So we are starting to lose a little bit of light already. I've got the white balance set to daylight and I'm going to tweak that in post. I'm not really too fussed about what the white balance is set to because I am shooting in RAW, and as long as all the photos are set kind of similar kind of lighting, then it'll be easy to bulk edit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring some props in and start playing around and see if I can make a kind of nice scene. So I'm just adding some of this this hemp protein powder into this little bowl. It is green, so we're going to see if we can kind of use it. It might not work, but we'll see. I'm going to make it quite heat. I don't want it to look like I've run out or anything like that. So the colour of it is a little bit like mud, but there's nothing I can't change in post-production if I did want to. So this is essentially the product. So it comes with, it's a jade roller with a vitamin serum and one of these little things. Ideally we want some shots that are gonna capture the jade roller and the serum because they're the most like important things of the whole kind of set. And then we want some shots of all three of them together. So when you're working with a set like this, you want to try and get some sort of balance. For example, if I was to move this to the top bit, we're too heavy up here, we want to move this little guy, this little gem, down here to kind of balance out the photo a little bit. And then just keep moving things about, and especially when you're thinking about the light and where the light is hitting. As well as doing flat lays, you do want to do some that are at kind of like an angle, so we're just going to turn this around now to face the light. I'm kind of happy with the setup. Just take it on my phone so I remember how it looks. So here we're just kind of creating like a leading line to lead the viewer's eye to the serum bottle. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in some extra textures now. I think we're going to start with this. It's a lot richer and it will contrast with the green, kind of go with it a lot better than this one. So we're going to get rid of that. Okay, so we are running out of natural daylight. It doesn't help that it's a really rainy day. So I am gonna use the speed light. It's a newer speed light, I'll link it in the description. Just checking it has batteries in it. It's really basic. What I'm gonna do is basically bounce the light from the ceiling, because we have white ceilings, and hopefully that will reflect down into the image. And then that will kind of like fill in those shadows. My settings, I'm going to have my camera about 1/160 because that is usually the speed that I have it at in terms of shutter speed when I want to sync this flash to it. So I've just changed the backdrop. We're going to go with a different kind of green, and then I want to change it again. I'm thinking of using maybe a kind of like I've got a pink one, and I think the pink would contrast the green really well. If you've not seen my video on colour theory, I'll link that somewhere so you can watch that. And then after that, I'm going to go with a marble one as well, get some cleaner kind of backdrop images. I think when it comes to product photography, something that you don't want to do is be too precious about your ideas. If it doesn't work, move on to the next one. So much of product photography is just problem solving, and you might have an idea and it doesn't really work. And to kind of combat that, you just have to make small changes as you kind of go along to get the idea that you have in your mind. So I'm just adding these white rolls here, as you might be able to see that it's kind of just taking out some of that shadow, just reflecting some of that shadow. What I'm doing here is pointing the speed light directly at the object and just raising my aperture to allow for that. And then when I fire it off, we're going to get some really harsh shadows on the product here. Okay, so sometimes when you're setting up something over here, you look over here and something looks better than what you're doing. So I'm just going to leave this for now, and I'm just going to shoot this little scene here, and then we're going to get back to shooting the jade roller with the hemp. Okay, so now I'm going to decide on my next backdrop. I want to go for something marbly, so what I've got is this option, this one which is a little bit like bolder, a bit thicker, or this one, and although this one is like a little bit blue, I think I'm actually going to go with this one because the blue might work with the green, and these little brown bits might work with the actual like gold on the products. Okay, so we're going to go with this last backdrop, and we're going to try and use this kind of like bathroom like set thing that I bought for the last video that we did on props. And what I'm kind of thinking with this one is, the last one was more about like the lifestyle, you know, with the like with the hemp powder, stuff like that, like alluding to the kind of lifestyle that you might have, this kind of natural holistic approach. This time we're going to go more of like a bathroom kind of setup and see what we can make. Okay, so my other camera ran out of charge towards the end of that, which is great, but hopefully you have had some sort of idea of my thought process whilst I am shooting products. If you want some tips on choosing props, on shooting product photography, especially at home, then I do have some other videos on the topic on the channel, so I'll link them in the description. I'll put them up somewhere for you to easily see them. But really, a lot of any kind of photography is just trial and error, and that is the best kind of advice I can give you. Just practice. You'll see that whilst I was working, a lot of what I kind of went for didn't really work, so I moved it around, and you adapt and you improvise when that kind of thing happens. Similarly, you want to remember that you're telling some sort of narrative, whether that is about the lifestyle of the whoever the product is targeted to, or it is about the narrative of where you might use that product, so in a bathroom, or if it's a chopping board then in the kitchen, for example. And of course you want to think aesthetically as well. Does it look nice? Are the colours working well? Really, once you've got those three things kind of nailed, that's all you have to think about, and you can kind of just go in. If you are new to product photography, I would recommend you just picking up a random item in your house and giving it a go, seeing what you can create. As ever, I will link all of the props and everything in the description so you can have a look at them, as well as my camera equipment. If you did enjoy this video, then please give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe. It really does help to grow this channel. And of course, if there's something that you want to see on this channel in particular, if you want me to talk about something to do with product photography in more detail, or other kind of photography, I do fashion and weddings, etc., then please do let me know and I will get to doing that. But yeah, I just thought I would do another product photography video because it's been a while, and I know a lot of my channel content has been more focused around film photography at the moment, so I thought I'd put that out just to break it up a little bit. But I will see you guys in the next one.